Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a beautifully sunny and blessed day. This is the first episode of my Sims 4 Realm of Magic series, Bubble Brews. I'm so excited. This is going to serve as an introduction episode where I'll be showing off some of the new builds for my reimagined Glimmerbrook, followed by some cozy casual gameplay. I think the focus of this series is going to be helping Arlo, who is our main sim, complete his aspiration while also weaving some story-driven elements into it, like trying to find out where he comes from. I definitely recommend checking out the prelude that I did a few weeks back if you are out of the loop on his little story. But yeah, in this episode, we'll just start with a tour of the new lots in Glimmerbrook before beginning a day in the life of Arlo. I'm hoping to attend a spellcraft lesson with Professor Barrow and then travel to the magic realm to visit the Grand Academy. Along the way, we'll probably meet some of the town residents and start building the foundation of our little storytelling here. But really quick, there are some new characters that I've added to this story, and I would love to introduce them to you guys so that we're all on the same page and you're not like, who is this? I don't remember seeing this person. So yeah, let me just give you a couple of introductions to some new Sims. Our first sim is Sapphire Silversmith, and here is her little bio that I've created. She is technically like the local crystal dealer. Wait, maybe I should say that differently. She's the local magic crystal dealer, okay? Once destined to take over her family's long-running wand-making business in the magic realm, Sapphire chose a different path. With a love for gemology burning brighter than tradition, she left her family behind and built a new life in Glimmerbrook as a crystal merchant. For over a decade, she's been a quiet, enigmatic figure, a trusted source of magical stones, and a mystery to those who cross her path. She very much so is like, kind of like the town hermit in a way. Like, people know who she is because she runs the local magic crystal shop, right? But because people also know of her family in the magic realm and they know like they make the wands, right? I think there's a level of mystery that she has about her because she's so aloof, and I think because her family is so well known in the magic community, it's a little odd. But they give her privacy because, well, she's been running their go-to crystal shop for a long time, so I think they respect her. The next little family that I'm going to introduce you to are Matilda and Merlin and Matilda's husband Henry. Hopefully you can follow along with that. Siblings who inherited the beloved Mystic Mug Tavern after their parents' passing, Matilda, now married to Henry Periwinkle, a rare human who stumbled into Glimmerbrook through a portal and never left, runs the tavern with warmth and care. Meanwhile, Merlin dreams of higher learning, saving coin by coin so he can one day study at Windspire Academy. Until then, he soaks up all the knowledge he can from the local scholar, Professor Barrow, whenever classes are held for young spellcasters. So, Matilda and Merlin are both siblings. Unfortunately, Merlin has dedicated a lot of his time to the Mystic Mug Tavern, which in my mind is a coffee shop tavern. because that's all they sell is coffee. And instead of going to the Windspire Academy in the Magic Realm, he's kind of just been helping his sister and brother-in-law run the tavern. So he's kind of missed out on a huge part of being a spellcaster. And I don't think Matilda ever attended Windspire Academy, so I think for her, she looks at it as such an unnecessary thing. Why bother with education when you could be running a magic tavern? So, you know, I kind of can understand where she's coming from. I think that the Mystic Mug definitely has been a treasure in their family, and she wants to keep it going. Now, in reference to her husband, Henry Periwinkle, I believe that Henry probably comes from a line of spellcasters, but unfortunately his bloodline died out. So I think he's the only exception as to why a human would be in Glimmerbrook. And perhaps he just sort of found his way through a portal, and maybe it was a calling within his own soul that he needed to be there. I'm not really sure. I haven't really fleshed that out. It doesn't really matter because they're just supporting characters, okay? But yeah, those are the new folks that I have added, along with some of the pre-existing townies that came with the Realm of Magic pack. So you will see some familiar faces like the Charm family and the reimagined Amicable Acolytes household. They all have received makeovers to fit my aesthetic, but also to fit the Bubble and Brews world. So they'll probably appear throughout the series and mingle with our original townfolk to help kind of aid in the story building. I also will say, I imagine that the Charm family is bad. With the exception of the teen girl. I didn't realize there was a teenager in this household. Her name is Gemma. And so she actually may very well be a part of Arlo's little gang of friends. I don't know yet, but she's a teen. And I just kind of feel like it would be so interesting to have, like, so the Raventhorne family is sort of thought of as like the baddies, like the bad spellcaster family, but they're really not. It would be interesting to have a family that on the front end seems like they're not malicious and doing some black arts or something like that, like they're not doing untamed magic, but they are. Like, they're fake, and I think Gemma probably knows this. So that's kind of how I thought about the Charm family when I was redoing them, with the exception of Gemma. I think she genuinely wants to be a good spellcaster and knows that her family might be a little corrupt. And then with the Amicable Acolytes, I don't really have a story for them because I didn't actually look at what their description is. So if we see them, we see them. But anyway, let's get into some gameplay. Alright guys, so it's early morning and we are at the Moonfall residence. Jinx is on the table. Already said that I'm kind of imagining that these cat familiars could probably speak, so I'm just gonna say that she probably was gonna ask them for something to eat. But anyway, Eudora made breakfast for everybody. Arlo does have school. We're not going to be attending school with him because it's just going to technically send him to Copperdale, and I don't want to go to that school because it's still the default school, and that's not a part of this Let's Play. So we are just going to be hanging out mainly in Glimmerbrook and the Magic Realm, and if the story takes us in another direction, then I'll let you know, but it definitely wouldn't be in Copperdale. So this is the Moonfall Sisters residence. I think while he goes to school for the day, or at least until he comes back, we may have the ladies run the potion shop. I think that would be really fun. But yeah, I'm gonna give you guys just a quick tour of their home. So technically this may look like 2 lots, but it's just one big lot, and it has 2 big buildings on it. All of the builds that you see in this video today are already going to be on the gallery for you to use as well if you want to. So if you see something in here that you like and you want to use it, it will be available for you, okay? So this house that's in the back, or this cottage that's in the back with the little wheel, this is the main house, and then this building here with the greenhouse attached to it is the potion shop. So let's go ahead and take a tour of the main house first. It's pretty, I guess open, like in the ground floor. Cause see, I imagine that this house was originally just meant for Eudora and Celine. So, it's a fairly small house, even though it doesn't look like it. It kind of is. So we have basically the living space here, and then the kitchen area through here. There is a restroom on the ground level, just with a bathtub, toilet, nothing special. And then when you go upstairs, let's see, you have a little landing here. And then this is the bedroom for Eudora and Celine. They share a bedroom because, like I said, this is kind of a small house, really. But I think it was just really meant for the two of them. I don't think, obviously, well, I guess Celine would have known, but I don't think originally when the house was built, they knew that they would be taking on another housemate. So their room has an ante room before you get into the main bedroom. So this is just additional like storage, like a bookcase and dresser, and then you go through here and they have their main bedroom and everything. I like to imagine that this is sort of their family crest. I put these banners in 3 of the main houses. So the Moonfall sisters have this banner, the Callahans have a banner, and the Raventhorns, all 3 have these crests, or, you know, what I think of as like a family crest sort of thing. So yeah, this is their room. And then we have a bathroom here on the top floor as well. It is literally just a copy-paste version of the one that is downstairs. And then we have Arlo's room, which I did in a blue scheme because I just thought it fit him well. He does have a owl familiar, but I kind of want to use this a little bit later. Like, I want it to seem like it's a thing that he can only access at a certain point of his life as a spellcaster. So I don't want him to like use it right away. But yeah, this is his room. Simple single bed, his dresser. He doesn't have a wand yet. Again, I'm very much so leaning into like the Harry Potter thing where you go to Ollivander's and it's a very special thing where you get your wand. And I kind of want that to be the case for Arlo. So he doesn't have a wand yet. The sisters do. It's just in their inventory. And then he has his own little apothecary / potion cabinet. And yeah, that's pretty much his room. I also gave him a bookshelf in here too, in case he wanted to read anything. And then the main the main draw, which is the potion shop, I wanted it to kind of emulate somewhat of a tavern, but not quite. So ideally customers would come in, collect their potion, almost like a pharmacy type thing where it's like, oh hey, I'm picking up my my beauty potion. And so you would wait out here, and then perhaps Celine or Eudora would like come through this window and give you your potion while you have been waiting, and you could kind of sit and socialize with some of the other townies should you want to, whatever floats your boat. But when you enter into the main door of the potion shop, you have this is technically a bar, and a very beautiful one. This actually came with the Realm of Magic. I don't think I knew that it did have a bar that went with it, but it does. And so this is also part of the appeal, is like, I know that the Sims aren't going to drink these potions on site, but I wanted to have it be a little interactive where it gave the illusion that they were drinking the potion that they just bought. So I put in a mixologist bar so that Eudora or Celine could mix some beverages for them, and it seemed like they're also drinking a potion that they've bought. But yeah, I just have on the back bar here some more potions. I don't think these show up as for sale, so this is really more for aesthetics than anything else. But I have had, I did a test run of this to at least make sure that these potions could get bought from the customers that entered. And some of them are, you'll notice, are missing because they did get purchased by some folks. So this is their main inventory, emphasis on main. They also sell familiars here too, so if you go to, or if you don't go to the magic realm often, you could pick up your own familiar here at the potion shop. And then this is their own little greenhouse. Now this is not nearly as impressive as say the green thumbs that really help them sustain like any plants that they need for potion making. This is just something that Eudora does have just in case she needs ingredients that maybe they don't sell, meaning the green thumbs, because they have their own little plant thing going on, their little plant shop. In the back, she does have some apple trees and pear trees and stuff like that too. So yeah, but this is just the main floor, guys. I haven't showed you the secret room. I imagine that Eudora has recently gotten into some kind of shady, not shady bad, but like just a little, you know, under the table selling. So like Lord Callahan only knows that she does the potions, but he doesn't know that she's also running like a little secret oddity shop at the top floor of their potion shop. He just thinks this is where they work on their potion stuff and whatever, but she's selling something up here, okay? And you know, that's all kinds of strange stuff. Who knows what they be doing with this stuff? I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted this to kind of look like a oddity sort of thing. Do you know, like in I think in Diagon Alley there's a additional like road that certain wizards go down, and I forget what it's called, and if you know it, then feel free to put it in the comments. But they go there and they purchase things that you wouldn't normally get in Diagon Alley. Since Arlo is heading off to school, I figured it would probably be a good idea to just go ahead and start with the tour instead of putting it off a little bit later in the video, because I do want to get to some actual gameplay in this series pretty soon. So yeah, I am going to go ahead and show you guys these two buildings. And like I said before, this is going to act as more of an introductory episode, but still, while it's early and while Arlo is in high school, it just makes sense to at least give you a show of what Glimmerbrook looks like now. I've taken Celine out into the town, I guess. These are two other residential buildings, but also they're supposed to act as small businesses. At least this one is a small business, an operable small business where Celine or Arlo or whoever can actually go in and purchase goods. That's not really the case for the Green Thumbs, even though theirs is kind of set up to look like an actual little shop. See, I have like a market stall and stuff. It actually isn't. It's just a house, and they've got some of their gardening stuff, bees and some farming plots and rabbits and everything. It's quite whimsical. But I'm going to show you the crystal shop first. If you guys remember from the intro, I did say that we have a local magic crystal dealer, and that is Sapphire Silversmith. Sapphire lives on the top floor of this building, but at the ground level, this is her crystal shop. So if you come through here, it's just one open shop. It's quite spacious, at least I think so. And she's got some magic crystals for sale, as well as precious metals and some jewelry. Perhaps this jewelry could be, I don't know, enchanted or something to kind of enhance a spellcaster's ability to cast spells. I don't really know, but yeah, that's basically the crystal shop right here. And there is a public restroom if someone has to use the restroom. But yes, I imagine this is also where Sapphire does a lot of her work for crystals. It kind of looks like she was already working on something earlier and maybe she just forgot about it. I don't know. But then if you go upstairs, or I guess I should show you how you would enter to get to her actual like residence. You would come through the back way here, go up the flight of stairs, and this is her studio apartment space. I think it's really cute. Her color is also blue, but obviously I imagine it's like a darker sapphire blue. So this is her little house is super cute, and she has a bathroom through here as well. Nothing too special, just, you know, just a bathroom. But yeah, that's Sapphire's house, and let's go ahead and take a look at the Green Thumb's house. Theirs is a little bit more spacious in terms of what's all up in here, but yeah, I wanted theirs to have some green elements to it, but also have like plants and things growing up the walls, and maybe some crazy looking plants that they've never seen before. I put some seed packets out here to put into their inventory, and I think I forgot to do that. So they're still on the ground, but yeah, this is their main floor of their home. And then if you go over here, they have a little restroom. Just a basic restroom, nothing special, just a restroom. And then the top floor is got like their bedrooms, but it also has this really cute little I guess this is like a deck. I mean, yeah, I guess this is like a deck where they can come out and eat or play some chess. This is Sapphire, so I guess she's up here playing some chess by herself. I wonder where the Green Thumbs are at today. I guess they're not home. But yeah, this is Sapphire. I think she's so pretty. She's got like just this very 1920s esque-ness to her, like this sort of siren quality. I'm not really sure. She just reminds me of like a silent movie picture star or something. So I like her a lot. But yeah, this is, oh, there's Thistle. So this is Thistle's room. So I'm glad that they're in here, because I was actually kind of curious as to where they were. But yeah, this is Thistle's room. So glad that they are already in here playing on the computer. And then this is Briar's room. Okay, so he's also in here too. But yeah, this is their whole space. Again, like I said, everything that y'all see will be available on the gallery if you want to use it for your next save too. It was, I was very much so going for a specific look when it came to the Glimmerbrook buildings. Like, I was wanting something that felt fantasy, but also kind of like the fantasy app games that you see that are really cute, and then you play them and they're kind of boring, but the artwork is like really, really good. Like, that's what I was going for. Like, this kind of reminds me of maybe like a Disney sort of environment. What is that? Why is that here? I saw this earlier and I'm like, why the heck is that here? And is it something that comes in base game alone, or is it just for this world? Because that's crazy. Also, y'all let me know what you think that Glimmerbrook is supposed to be in terms of like the location, because I don't know. I don't know. Oh, hey, look, there's already a couple of some of my townies. So this is Minerva Charm. Like I said, she is a bad lady. She's not nice. I mean, I'm sure she really is actually nice, but for story purposes, we don't like her. Okay? And it does look like Professor Barrow is out here too. Also, I did put in the podcast video that I did for the series that Malachi and Celine had a little thing going on. So if you look at their relationship panel, I'll show you guys really quick. They are neighbors and whatever, but they have a broken engagement relationship bit, and they're deeply wounded towards each other. So who knows? Maybe they can fix their relationship, because I do have a pinned want for Celine to get into a relationship. She wants to get into a relationship, and I may go ahead and pin this one for flirting with somebody too. But yeah, so that is 2 of the houses / businesses for the Glimmerbrook area. I'm going to show you guys over here as well. Just because I think y'all will like this. I hope you'll like it. Alright, so we have made it over to where technically Professor Barrow and Matilda, her brother and husband, all live. This is like a combination of a couple different things. And let me also let y'all know, if you have businesses and hobbies, and if you have for rent, you cannot make a residential rental and have a small business ran out of it, but you can have 2 small businesses at once. So what I've had to do is combined households. So like, for example, with Sapphire and the Green Thumbs have had their household combined with Sapphire. So technically they all 3 live together on one lot. And there's one portion of the building that acts as the small business. But yeah, unfortunately that's just how it is. Maybe they'll fix it to where you can have a residential rental and have multiple businesses on the same lot, but I do think that might interfere with the mechanics of for rent. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the school. So really quick, the school is actually called Barrow's School for Arcana, I believe, or maybe it's called Barrow's Magic School for Arcana. But anyway, this is the school that the actual school that Arlo's supposed to be at, but obviously the game's not gonna allow that. So this is the classroom that he runs. Oh, I left something over there. I left a teleporter here, but that's okay. Celine is already up in here, but yeah, so this is the classroom. And then if you go into here, there's oh, okay, sorry girl. This is the restroom. This is Matilda. By the way, I guess you might as well meet her. This is Matilda. I think she is so cute. Yeah, she's adorable. But anyway, if you go through here, this space here is supposed to act as like his off. Oh, well, everybody's up in here. This is Merlin. This is Merlin, Matilda's brother. He's quite handsome. And yeah, I imagine that when Professor Barrow is like done for the day with teaching the younger spellcasters, like the teenagers, I think Malachi, when he's finished with his shift at the tavern, comes by to get some learning. Do you know what I mean? So like, he's not falling behind or anything, because at some point he's going to apply to go to Windspire Academy, so he's got to be ready. Okay, so yeah, this is the classroom portion of the school. And then if you come up here upstairs, this is supposed to act as like training area. They've got a cauldron here, and I imagine they could do some experimenting or potion making, and they've got some books and things up here. And I put this mirror here. Again, this is like a Harry Potter reference. If you know, you know, so I just put it in here. But yeah, this is where the students would sit and I guess watch the professor, you know, make some potions and whatnot. But if you go through here, this is the residential portion for the Professor Barrow. So this is the, I guess, technically like the foyer of his house. or like apartment sort of thing. If you go through here, this is his restroom. He's got a nice, what the heck? Oh my gosh. not the bird clipping through here. All right. That scared me. All right. So this is his bathroom. Yeah, it's a bathroom. If you go upstairs, he has like it's like a studio situation where it's all just one big space up here for the person. It starts to get a little wonky when you get into like third story territory with Sims homes, I've noticed, because the cameras don't want a camera, you know what I mean? So this is his house, his bed, place for him to lounge, listen to music, and he does have a kitchen up here as well. So love it. On the second floor, oh my gosh, the bird is like freaking me out. That's crazy. On the second floor, if you go through here, or at least the residents should be able to do this. I think I did lock this door to Matilda, her husband, and her brother, this blue door here. But this is the Periwinkle's residence. So it's connected by this little bridge type thing. I'll show you guys in a second. But if you come through here, you're in their house. This is like their kitchen area / a sitting room. Unfortunately, there's not enough space for them to have a full dining table, so their dining table is outside. And then through here, this is supposed to be Merlin's bedroom. Yeah, and then they have to share a bathroom, or he has to share a bathroom with his sister and brother-in-law. So this is their restroom here, and this is Matilda and her husband's bedroom here. So yeah, that is their residence and the small business, or the school, I guess I should say. And then on the ground floor of the Periwinkle's house is the Mystic Mug, also known as like a coffee tavern, because I thought that was so cute to have just like a coffee tavern or something. It just feels very, I don't know, it just feels very charming. So this is the tavern. Not much going on right now because it's not technically opened, but yeah, I imagine that Arlo and his friends like to pop in over here after school, very much like going to grab a butterbeer or something after lessons, or you know, there's a time that I think in Harry Potter his friends can go to Hogsmeade and grab beverages and stuff there. So that's kind of what I envisioned. And then this is just a public restroom for guests to use. So yeah, that is the school, the tavern, and where the Periwinkles and where Malachi Barrow, or Professor Barrow, live. And I wanted it to very much look like a street. The cars are taking me out too, because it feels so out of place, but it is what it is. This is where you know, folks would come to kind of socialize as well. At least I think so. And yeah, I wanted it to look like it was an actual part of a main street, so I added a few details of where it looks like things have been dropped off for the inhabitants of the place, where it looks like maybe some packages for the tavern has been left and they're unloading it. Oh, and I also put this wishing well from the romantic garden pack in here because I never use it, but I kind of imagine too that this is the well that is shared between the two houses. So like, for example, the Moonfall sisters have like their own sort of source of water, so perhaps I don't know, perhaps this is where they have to get their water, and I don't know what they would do over here for it. But anyway, we've got a couple of other stops that I want to show you. We still got plenty of time before Arlo returns from school. Moving right along, we have reached the Raventhorne Manor. This is probably my favorite build out of all of the builds that I have redone for Glimmerbrook. I think this is my favorite because it's very different from what, well, let me say this. All of these builds have been very different compared to anything that I've done before. It's my first time making fantasy builds. Obviously, I wish I could say a lot of these came out of my head. I think some of them did. Like, I know for a fact that the Moonfall Sisters potion shop and cottage came out of my head, but a lot of these buildings I did have to look on Pinterest to get, like, you know, just the form and stuff down. And I do remember that this was one of them, and I think I used an actual, like, vintage early 1900s blueprint that I found on Pinterest. I'm assuming it was authentic. I don't know, maybe it wasn't, but I used that as a guide, not as a like a hard and fast guide that I went by it, but I used it as inspiration to form their beautiful house. I love it. I love it. It's just, it's very outside too, I think, of like just me in general, and I think that's why I like it so much, is because it's so different. So I'm gonna have Celine knock on the door so I can show you guys the tour, but this is the front part of their house. They have a little courtyard area, place where you can sit, and I did this really nice detailed fencing around the house with these statues that came from vampires. I love those statues. I think they look great. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick tour of the Raventhorne house. In spite of its size being pretty big, or at least not the mailbox in the front door. Oh no. I'll have to fix that. But in spite of it being like really big, at least on the exterior, it's actually not too terribly big. Oh, and remember when I said that thing about the banners and stuff, like the family crest? This is theirs. Unfortunately, there wasn't like a purple swatch, but this was close enough. And then I also put this really cool raven looking skull into their house. I thought that was nice. Also, I've had this thing where, like, they keep changing out of the clothes they were assigned, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know why, but it's kind of making me upset. Anyway, at least she's in her normal outfit. So anyway, if you come through to the entrance, this is like their more formal living space. And through here is like a bathroom. I didn't know what I wanted to do with this space. Originally, I was going to put it as like an office, but I don't know. I always feel like I never have enough bathrooms available for my Sims, especially if I have a household that's more than 2 Sims. So I just turned this into a restroom. So yeah, this is a restroom. If you come back through here, again, this is the living room, the formal living room space. You've got the stairs that go, well, upstairs. And then you have the dining room. I love this dining room. It just is so, I don't know, I love it. It's just very, I don't know, it reminds me of like a Tim Burton film or something. I like it. They have their cooking cauldron in here, as well as some stuff for their cats. This is their full kitchen. I'm just making sure that there's nothing I'm missing, but I don't think that there is. Yeah, this is their full kitchen. And then if you come through here, this goes to the basement. So we'll head down there really quick. Going down the stairs in the kitchen, there's a little like wine cellar nook, or what's supposed to be like a wine cellar nook here for them, because I imagine they are pretty rich, pretty well off. Through here is more of an informal living space where they can kind of relax. Also, they do have a familiar. I imagine this is the father's one, and the cat is probably the mom's familiar. So this is the raven familiar for them. So yeah, she's sitting and watching TV. There are some activities in here for them to do, like the art easel. I thought I put a chess table in here, but maybe I didn't. That's something that you can add if you should want to. And then this is like their more serious space to do like potion making and whatever else spellcasters be doing. This is their office space essentially that they can act on it and do that. I also gave them some gardening pots down here so that they had ingredients to make their brews, their home brews out of. Then going back up to the main floor, if we go to the second floor, I didn't know the space is kind of awkward. I'm not gonna lie. If you download it and can think of another way to utilize this space a little bit better, let me know. And I see that I forgot to put tile up there. I'm sorry. Through here is a hallway. There's a couple different options that you can take. If you go through here, this is the parents' bedroom. They also have like an antechamber, anteroom here before you get into the main part of their bedroom. So through here is their bedroom. Yeah. I used a lot of the vampire assets rather than the Realm of Magic stuff. So yeah. Through here is a bathroom as well. I think it looks really nice. Again, I used a lot of vampire stuff from in there. And then if we come back out into the hallway, the main hallway, and we enter through here, this is Iris's bedroom. So this is her room, and she has direct access to the tower. And then through here she also has access to the balcony. So unfortunately she doesn't have her own bathroom like available, at least upstairs. She could use the one that is downstairs, but if she, you know, has to go, she'd have to go through her parents' bedroom to get there. And then there is also a tower up here, which I don't know what I want to do with. I've left it empty for now, but I thought it would make a really cool, like, study space for her because she is an academic at heart. So I might change that into, like, her study space and move all of her, like, her desk and typewriter up there and some books and stuff. Maybe put that up there. I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, that is the Raventhorne Manor. I love it. And I love the color scheme with it. It's also not a part of the Glimmerbrook HOA code. There is a theme of blue tiled roofs only, and as you can see, they have opted for purple. So they very much so go against the grain. I like to kind of imagine that this house probably looked similar to, see, this is Callahan Hall. So we have Callahan Hall where Lord and Lady Callahan reside, and then you look over here and it's Raventhorne Manor. So I imagine this at one point looked like that as far as the color scheme goes. But when the Raventhorns moved in, they said, no, we are a dark and broody family, and dark and broody family has to have dark and broody house. So I think that's what they did. So our last stop is going to be over here at the Callahan Hall. I'll have Celine go ahead and head over for a visit with the Callahans, and then we'll be finished with this tour of Glimmerbrook. Yeah, and then we'll finally get into some casual gameplay with. Our last stop is Callahan Hall. It is quite it took me a while to build this. I think it actually took me longer to build Callahan Hall versus Windspire Academy, and I think both are equally the same as far as like building goes, like how many stories and stuff they have. It took me longer to build this one, and I'm really not sure why, because I think I just didn't know what direction I wanted to go for Callahan Hall. I wanted it to mirror the other like buildings, like for example this, but then I thought, well, this actually looks kind of peasant-like. Not peasant-like, but you know what I mean, like it looks too much like what everybody, and you know, citizen-wise, would have. And so the Callahans, being the Callahans, would have something far grander, far more elaborate than just like the Tudor style, like medieval peasant looking, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. So I think over time, perhaps they did have a home similar to everything else, and they just decided to renovate it over the years. So I'm gonna have her knock on the door really quick, and we'll go through a quick little tour of Callahan Hall. It is massive. It's big. It's a big house, at least by my building standards. It's big. I've not built anything quite this large. The magic school and this, it took me a minute. So yeah, and that's also one of the reasons why it took me so long to get this Let's Play out, is because I was preparing for it. Again, with the mailbox, I completely forgot to give these people mailboxes. I'm so sorry. Anyway, they do have a foyer, a formal foyer, as soon as you enter into the house. So if you come through here, you are greeted by the staircase, but we're not going to go up through there yet. On the first floor, the main level, we have a guest bathroom. And the vision that I had for this, at least I like to think I executed this as well as I could, is it feels very like a classic English home from like the 1800s. And I guess maybe some American homes would have had this too. I'm specifically thinking of like in Little Women. If you guys have ever seen any movie adaptations of Little Women, or even if you've read the book, Laurie, the male friend to the sisters, has a very wealthy relative that he lives with. And they have a very grand house and with different wings. And I can't remember if they attend a party at his house or if it's just a party in general and Laurie happens to be there. But they're in a room of the house that looks like just a room designated for dancing. And so this is what I imagine this is. This is a room specifically designated for dancing, for parties. There's a piano here, so this is supposed to act as like a dance floor, and I guess I could change this to an actual dance floor rug or mat that comes with Wedding Stories. I think my Wedding Stories has a pretty decent one, so I might do that. I don't know, I might not be bothered. But then on this other side, this is more of a small talking area. I think this would be probably like where Lady Callahan entertains other ladies that are of her same station, and has like tea and stuff like that here with them. So that's what I imagine this part of the house is for. It's for entertainment. Aside from that, this part of the house, similar to the Raventhorns, is not really meant for entertainment. This is like the library, but also it's kind of acting as like where they practice their craft. So they also have a computer, sorry, not a computer, but just a regular desk here, as well as some of their magic tomes are in here. Yeah, this is basically the entertainment space. So I guess in hindsight, if you wanted to come through to the library, they wouldn't be opposed to that. Through this door here is like the art gallery. Some finer homes way back in the day would have a wing completely designated to showing off art that they had collected, and so I imagine that the Callahans are no different. So this is like the art gallery wing here, and through here is supposed to be Lord Callahan's private office. So perhaps he holds very special meetings in here with other spellcasters. I don't know. Through here is the dining hall, and boy howdy is it a dining hall. Look how long this table is. This is just 2 tables connected, so just a little building tip if you ever want to have additional seating. Yeah, this room is so long, it just made sense that they had like a long table. But also, like I said, I just feel like the Callahans would do like really high scale entertaining guests and stuff like that. So it made sense to me. Through here, we do have, oh, it looks like Sebastian and his sister are in here. This is their kitchen. They got their cooking cauldron in here as well. A lot of cabinet space. And I put some stuff in here to look like perhaps they were in the middle of getting ready to throw a party. And that might be an idea for a next episode, having a big bash at the Callahan Hall, but I wanted it to give the illusion that perhaps these are some things that they were preparing for as far as food goes. They should have a butler. I'm fairly certain I gave this household a butler as well, because I'm about to show y'all the basement. Unlike the Raventhorne Manor, their basement is not, well, first off, their basement is very spacious, but it's not somewhere where they would go to hang out like the Raventhorns do. It's really and truly meant for the help. It's meant for the butler. So again, they have a nectar cellar, I guess I should say, right here. And if you come through this way, this is supposed to be the butler's domain where he would live or she would live. Yeah, just a very modest bedroom with a bathroom. I say modest, but I think for the circumstances, this would be considered a really nice space for a butler to live. And this room here is supposed to be like the same. So if they had another faculty member, like a maid or something, or a nanny, then they could also live down here too. But for right now, it's just like storage. It's just storage, and nobody lives down here, but there is an additional bathroom down here. So it is meant to be a bedroom. If you download the lot and want to change it to something else, of course you're welcome to do so. There's no problem in doing that. But that's what I envisioned, was perhaps at one point they did have another like help that lived here, maybe another butler, and they just cut down to one because people were talking about how snooty they were. So yeah, that is the main floor and the basement of the Callahan's house. Now we shall move to the second floor. There is technically a third, but I didn't add like a stairs, so there's nothing up there. Does that make sense? But you could very well add another set of stairs if you wanted to. I don't know if I'd recommend it because this is already a very big lot, so, or a big house. So, but if you wanted to, you certainly could. Anyway, if you come through on the landing, there's some seating area. Again, peep the banner. This is supposed to be the Callahan's banner. They have two of them on display, I guess perhaps to show how special they are. But if you come through on this side, this is like the children's wing. This is where the children's rooms and things are located. This room here is obviously little baby Sylvie's room. Very cute, very light. Her and her sister both have the same color scheme. Now, in my mind, I would say that her sister Sophia only stays at this house part-time because she's technically supposed to be enrolled in the academy. So for the sake of story purposes, I think she goes back and forth from the magic realm to Glimmerbrook, so she's not always here. But this is her bedroom. They both have the same set of like furniture, very light, very feminine. I love it. It's very cute. And then through here is their shared bathrooms. So they've got sinks, toilets through here, tub. Yep, that's it. And then through here is Sebastian's bedroom. I love Sebastian's bedroom. It's just very warm. It feels very cozy in here as well, with all of the red and dark woods. I love it. He has his own computer. He does have a double bed too. And his room, I think, is way bigger than his sister Sylvie's. And unfortunately, I think his parents, specifically his mom, because I think I explained to you guys about the dad and how proud he is of Sophia. I think they're like, well, you know, Sebastian is going to carry the Callahan name because he is the male heir. So they gave him, to me, a little bit more of a spacious room. Through here could also be an additional bedroom, but I couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered to fill this space up, but you know what? Maybe the Callahans will have another child. Who knows? If you come through here, this is the Callahan's joint, and they have basically this whole section of the house to themselves. So they have an entertainment area here in their bedroom, along with a little mixology bar. They got their own little fireplace and their bed, some reading material up in here. Through here is their bathroom. They've got a private section for their bathtub, a little area for the lady to get dressed up, dolled up at. Their toilet is through here, and they got some double sinks going on. Yeah, so that is the Callahan Hall. It is a very big house. This is probably the biggest home I've made. Well, I say that, but it feels like it's the biggest house I've ever made. I don't know if that's totally true, but yeah, that is Callahan Hall. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and head right back on over to the Moonfall Sisters' house, because we need to get Arlo ready for his spellcraft training. Alright, so we have officially made it to the school. I'm just having Arlo do some chit-chat with Professor Barrow. I don't know if we can ask him to, like, help us directly without me controlling him. I know that there are some mods that you can get to control another sim that is not part of your household, but I tried downloading like 2 of them and they didn't work for whatever reason. They did not work. I guess they've not been updated yet. I'm not really sure. But regardless, I'm just having Arlo do some talking with the professor. I kind of wish that we could ask him to mentor us. Oh, hey, here's Gemma. Okay. She looks like she's doing some practice magic out here. I think it would be a good time to have Arlo, like, talk to her. We'll do just a friendly introduction because they've not actually met. As far as relationships goes, like friendships, he already has a good friendship with Sebastian. He has a good friendship with Iris, and then of course Thistle, because I imagine he and Thistle knew each other before he started talking to some of the other teens. So we'll just kind of do some small talk, get to know her. Maybe she's here for like a private session with Professor Barrow, and maybe Arlo just happened to meet her on her way here, or maybe she's leaving out. So we'll just be like, so what type of magic do you think you're going to be attuned to when you get ready to go to the academy? And how do you like Professor Barrow? Do you like his teaching methods? I imagine that Professor Barrow is very much Mad-Eye Moody. I think I said that when I was doing my cast video. I think he's just very, like, rough around the edges, so to speak, but he does mean well, and he wants to make sure that everyone is succeeding that he's teaching. I also went ahead and updated some of the interior of the, I guess, training room upstairs to be a little more cozy. It just didn't have a lot of decor in it necessarily, and at first I was fine with it, but it just didn't seem like an extension of the classroom, so I wanted it to feel like an extension of the classroom. I had also kind of hoped that there would have been more students present, because before I switched households back over to the Moonfall household, I had Malachi here open up the school. So why this isn't like open and operating, I don't really know. I might could invite Sebastian and Iris over. Do you know what I think I'll do? I think I will have Arlo create a club. I do this often, and I definitely recommend it if you want to try to keep your Sims organized and stuff. I usually will create friend clubs or family clubs or clubs related to work, so that all of the Sims can pretty much stay together. I don't know if that makes sense. But we'll just name the club Arlo's Comrades, and then I'll add, I don't really want to add Thistle in there because they are not technically, they're not a spellcaster. They're supposed to be like a dryad or whatever. So, where's Iris? She's not on this list. And neither is Thistle, which is kind of crazy. We'll put Gemma and Sebastian on there for now, and then you have to be a teen in order to be on this. I'll also do a young adult, just in case somebody like ages up or something before, I don't know. I know it is so late for him to be holding classes, but I instead switched households to Professor Barrow so that I could basically open up the small business, right? And actually do some like lecturing in regards to teaching the teens. But I totally did all of that work for creating that club for no reason, because what I ended up doing was disbanding the club, right? And creating a club solely for for him to run, for Professor Barrow to run and teach the kids, because it just felt like it made more sense. And then I also put this board up here. I was going to like hold an actual class, but Malachi must be the owner or an employee of an open small business. What? It should be open. Cannot open a small business during, oh, I see. Okay. So let me, did we invite her? We should be inviting Iris to, if not, then I'll just manually, add her to this. This is probably the boring bit of this episode. But like I said, this is just an introductory one. She said, "Are you kidding? I'd love to join the Barrow School of Arcana." Well, good, because you in. Let's actually stop the gathering and we'll open the business, because the business is set to only allow occult teens in here. So they should automatically go right into the business. Since they are... Oh! Not Sebastian Vamusin out of here. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can go ahead and start a class. I don't even know what he would teach. I guess because... Alright, so he doesn't have any skills. Oh my gosh. Professor Barrow. What in the world? What in the world? But he should be like... Yeah, his current rank as a spellcaster is a virtuoso. So... what exactly can you even lecture? You see, y'all, we're all learning this stuff together, because I didn't even proof this. I'm trying to be as authentic as possible. I didn't even proof this to see, like, what the heck he could even teach. I think herbalism would definitely... Yeah, he should have, like, a skill level in herbalism, gemology, gardening, for sure. I don't think, yeah, medium too. I put a medium table in the school, in the magic realm, so I'll give him a high skill in this. I'm just gonna cheat this man's, because he's supposed to be a teacher, so like, oh yeah, in vampire lore, absolutely. Okay, so it looks like that's all he can teach them, which kind of sucks, because it's like, why could he not be able to discuss magic? If you can discuss magic lore, then how are you not able to discuss, not magic lore, vampire lore? How are you not able to discuss magic lore? That's crazy. It's already the wee early hours of the day. It's 5 a.m. sim time. Arlo didn't get finished with his lessons at Professor Barrow's until like 2 a.m. in the morning, so he's already been sleeping at least for a few hours. It is a school day, so he'll be going to high school, and we will just hang out with Celine and Eudora for a little bit, at least until he finishes up from there. I wanted to show you guys his aspiration and what already he's done, which is not much. His 3 milestones, at least for part 1 of the spellcraft and sorcery aspiration, is to travel to the magic realm and learn a spell. Really quick, I'm going to share with you what the description is for this aspiration. It says, this sim craves a deep knowledge of the arcane magical arts. The reward trait after completing this is Slinger of Spells. It says a Slinger of Spells, Arlo, as a Slinger of Spells, Arlo generates much less charge when casting spells. So that is what we have to work toward. I think once he finishes with high school for today, then we will head over to the magic realm. I think he'll go with Eudora. Perhaps Eudora will go with him to make introductions to the sages that live there at the academy grounds. There is one sage in particular that I would like to introduce you guys to, since we are in episode 1. She kind of replaced Elphaba, if y'all remember her. She's the pink hair sage. That is a pre-made that came with this this pack. We replaced her, but we'll hopefully meet her later. And perhaps while he's there, he can also learn a spell from them. I also want to share with you guys the spellcaster perk tree. If you go to a spellcaster's UI menu here, it pulls up a very special needs thing for them. It's tied into their perk tree, so at this point he's only at an apprentice level, but if we take a look at the spellcaster perks, he's not unlocked anything, and he's got a long way to go, and I'm excited about it because I've never done any of this. Also on the perk tree, it's linked to his spell book. It says Arlo Moonfall's spellbook. A spellcaster is nothing without their trusty spellbook. Every incantation, ritual, and elixir that a spellcaster has learned is recorded here. A spellcaster can learn new spells and potion recipes from reading magical tomes, speaking to sages, or by practicing magic. And so my hope is that, of course, practicing magic would come into play from his teaching with Professor Barrow and also their club now, but we'll go to the academy and introduce him to the sages so that they know who their next future student will be once he's ready to join the academy officially. And then, of course, we do have magical tomes at home that he can dip into. These are like the magic classes, I guess, that he could learn. There's practical, mischief, and untamed. But there's also alchemy, which I didn't know. So I could definitely see him getting into this a lot, at least to use this when it comes to him inheriting the potion shop at some point. I think both the Moonfall sisters would want him to hone in practical magic, but you know what, we'll just have to see what he gets into as he continues his learning. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys really quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Arlo finish catching some Z's. And yeah, we'll catch up with the Moonfall sisters at the potion shop. We've opened up the potion shop, and Eudora is just tending to the bar. Oh, Fiona is here. Fiona Raventhorne. I kind of want, right now Celine is up in their like potion room. I want her, though, to introduce herself to Fiona, and yeah, I think that they would all be really good friends with the Raventhorns, honestly. Oh, not her getting like an attraction little thing for this guy. She's married. That's not good, girl. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna say anything, but you probably shouldn't do that. Anyway, I'm gonna have Celine stop experimenting. I don't think I showed off this room earlier, but it was featured in the prelude that I did for them. This is really just where they be experimenting. It's where they be experimenting up here, making their potions for the shop. And they also have a familiar too, but I imagine that this is actually Eudora's, which I suppose once we finish up with the day, I kind of do want to see what this is like when you release them from their little orbs. This is probably Eudora's familiar. Well, there's no probably. It is, because Celine has Jinx as her familiar. So, yeah, I'm so glad that Fiona came by. That's really cute. I definitely want them to be friendly with her. I also have their potion shop set to only allow occult sims in. So, yeah, that's the only customers that we'll get that come up in here. But yeah, let's have her discuss interest with Fiona, get to know her. What? No. We're not interested. Thank you. But have her get to know her a little bit better. I also added a couple of new sims as far as like off the gallery to just kind of fill up the world. So if y'all see some good looking sims floating around here, they're from the gallery, but I don't have the people's names available. I'm sorry. I just randomly put them in here. I'm having Eudora do some work on her plants via magic. She is getting kind of tense when it comes to dealing with the customers because she's actually like a loner. So she doesn't really want to have to deal with folks. So I think I'm gonna have her head upstairs really quick because I do want to see what this interaction is in terms of like what happens. Oh, name familiar. A classic spellcaster companion, bats have commonly been closely associated to magic users since the times of ancients. Okay. Clooney. I don't know if I want to call them Clooney. I picked Xenia, so we'll go with Xenia. Where do they go? Do they go in your inventory? Where are they? Hello? Where does it go? Do you have to like let's see if there's anything in the notifications. Doesn't look like it. All right. I wonder, do we have to summon them perhaps? We'll go to magic, familiars. Okay, summon familiar. Gotcha. All right. So we'll do that. I want to see what that looks like. What? Oh. Oh, look. There she is. Or he. I don't know. Let's, can we talk to them? You can't do anything with them? What? What's the point in having one if they don't do anything with you? That's crazy. Do they... Spells? No. Okay. Well, that's kind of a bummer. I kind of thought that it would, like... I don't know, but do you know what it is giving? It's just giving the drone that follows you, from... Oh, but it's so cute. Stop. It is so cute. Oh, I love her. Xenia is adorable. Oh, she's so cute. She's like a mixture between a pig and a bat. I love it. Eudora has closed up Bubble Brews for today, and we got our closing card as well. We were able to assist 6 customers. We were open for 4 hours, and here are the revenue situation going on. Our ticket sales, we made 138 simoleons. Retail was 40 simoleons. Revenue from the services was 102. And then our employees' wages, which technically goes back into our household funds, was 80. So in total, we got 125 simoleons and 84 business renown points. So It says here for the customer reviews, growth opportunities, the customer relationship. Try doing some friendly interactions with your customers to improve your relationship with them. And then the ambience. It says customers are enjoying the atmosphere of your small business, as they should, because I worked so hard on making this look nice. So I'm gonna have Celine stop with the tending of the bar. Why do we need to repair this? It should be like a cleanup spell, shouldn't it? We'll just have her clean up stuff. What's wrong? Wounded from feeling hurt by someone nearby. It will not be easy to get over how deeply Celine has been hurt. Girl, is it your sister? What? Not Trashly here. Oh my gosh. I don't like the fact that you can't just ask Trashly to simply leave. They linger, so I don't really like that at all. But let's have them leave. What? Hello, friend. Trashly taking time out of busy schedule to help spread awareness of small business. No, I'm not interested. I'm so sorry, Trashly. Please leave me alone. Oh, she's got to use the restroom. I was gonna have her come back up and actually start working on some more potions because we have sold out of some things. So I don't think you can replace, says stock surface. Yeah, I don't think that you can replace these things similar to how you can in Get to Work. You actually have to craft the items. So I think what I'll do is see if she can kind of make some more potions once she's finished with the restroom, of course. I didn't know that Thistle was around here, but that's alright. We'll have her create some plentiful needs potion because honestly that's all we've got. That's all we got for ingredients. So also, I don't know why, but I put a broom in Celine's inventory, right? And she's not used it. I kind of wanted to see her use her broom, but she won't use it. What? A world without magic. Look, put this away. When is our lad coming back home? I miss him already. Oh, let's have Celine clean this up. Watch this, you guys. She can clean it up with magic. There it goes. Love it. Wait, what does this say? It says frugal. Eudora saved ingredients while crafting potion. Oh, nice. Plentiful needs. Excellent. Glad. What? Oh my gosh. Did y'all see that? That was crazy. All right. I'm just gonna have her finish doing what she gonna do, and then we can restock the shelf. We should probably... I found a striped heart frog earlier too. I think we'll sell that because nobody's come up here. I think this is toggled for shopping purposes, but no one's come up here yet. That's all right. We made it to the magic realm, and this is Windspire Academy. You guys already know I gotta take you on a little tour. I got to, okay? I'm really proud of this, actually. If you saw what this place looked like before I got my hands on it, it was so just dingy. It was really dingy. I think that's a good word for it. I'm gonna do a little 360 tour for y'all really quick before we look up in here. By the way, Arlo is here with his auntie Eudora, and yeah, I imagine, like I said before, I think she's just going to help him kind of get acclimated to who the sages are and everything. Maybe she'll explain to him, like, kind of the ins and outs of the school. I think she's just kind of given him, like, it's almost like, when you're getting ready to go to college and you and your parent will, like, go visit a bunch of different colleges, but you're still in high school, but you're just doing, like, a little college tour. I think that's what is going on here. And I think, I don't know, I think Eudora is just better equipped to handle this sort of thing versus Celine. So yes, this is the interior of the school. I mean, I guess it technically is a little dark. It's a little dark in here compared to outside, but I wanted the exterior to feel very whimsical and light and stuff like that, but I wanted the interior of it to feel very dark academia. That was the vibe I was going for. This is supposed to be like the cafeteria, but it's also just like a kitchen area. The sages, I assume, live here because in the top floor I did make bedrooms for them. Maybe that was me being a little extra. I don't really know, but they're there. So yeah, this is the kitchen part of the school. If you go through here, this is just a general sit-in area for people to convene and I guess talk about their lessons and stuff, maybe do a little gossip, Through here is like a communal cauldron room that also has some books and things for them. Perhaps this is more of like a show and tell, maybe when they get to a specific tier within their journey of being a spellcaster at the school. Maybe the sages ask them to do like some experiments in this cauldron so that they can see their progress. And then if you come back through to the main part of the build, there is a restroom on this side of the building. Just 2 potties are in here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a restroom. And then on this other side of the room, we have I guess this is like a medium room. I put the stuff, I never used my paranormal back, which I don't know why. I usually always use like the assets that came with it, so yeah. This is the medium room, I guess, where they make contact with the ghosties that be all up in the Sims. On the other side of this is just like a vestibule that goes out to the back door. There's really nothing in here but some additional books, and I see that someone left a book and didn't put it up. So yeah, going down the stairs here is the basement, and I imagine that this serves as like the dueling rooms for the students. So those that are studying with other students would come in here and conduct a duel. Hopefully this gives them enough space. I've not play tested this so I guess this is me like play testing it with you guys IRL in real time, really, because I've not play tested it, but I'm just hoping and praying it works. But yeah, these are 2 areas for spellcasters to do some dueling. And then upstairs, this is the 2nd floor, so there's, I guess technically if you counted the basement, there's 4 stories to this building, but there's like 3 staircases. So if you come through here, all right, you're coming up the stairs. There's a little restroom for students here. Yeah, the toilet is through this door here. And then if you come out to this first room, this is the first classroom. Oh, look, this is actually, I think his name is Daryl Charm. This is Minerva, Charm, and Gemma. This is like their, I think this is her daughter-in-law. I think Daryl and her are engaged, and I forgot what her name is. I'm so sorry. It's not important. Oh, but this is one of the sages here. His name's Morgan. I did make over him a little bit. There really wasn't that much to make over because I think he's an okay looking sim. Like, there wasn't that much to change. So that's Morgan, and he is the sage over Untamed Magic. I imagine that this is the Silver Sweater Sage's classroom, but he's in here, so that's all right. So this is his classroom here. And if you go out this door, takes you to a little balcony, and through this room is where that sage, that silver sweater guy, I think he teaches practical magic, but this is supposed to be his bedroom, and he has his own bathroom as well. And then if we come back out through here and go into the, I guess, the first hallway on the first floor, or the second floor rather, through here is supposed to be Morgan's classroom. So why he's not up in here, I don't know, but this is supposed to be Morgan's classroom. It's very scary. As I'm looking at it, it's kind of scary. It's kind of creeping me out. Okay. And then through here is the classroom for the sage, which handles mischief magic. And it's very celestial and purple, and I love it. And we'll see her in a minute. I like her a lot. Like I said, she actually has replaced Elphaba. So, yeah, she is the new mischief sage, rather. And then the top floor here, oh, this is her right here. Her name is Vespera. I'll show you guys her in just a second. And then here's the other sage. That's the Simeon guy. I've given him a makeover as well. So, yeah, this floor here is really meant to be additional study space for students. We've got the books up here, as well as some study desks if they want to sit down, a chest table. And then if you come through here, there's a telescope for folks to use, as well as a crystal charging station, but there's not a gemology table in this place. I guess I probably should put one in here. Might as well, right? If we go through this door, this first door, once you come up the stairs, this is Vespera's bedroom. She's supposed to have a pet cat or a cat familiar, but the cat is like nowhere to be seen, and I don't know where they're at. I don't know if they're just hanging out in the ether or what, but I put cat trees and stuff within the school so that the cat has like places to chill out at, and yeah, I haven't seen them anywhere. Their name is Omen, but yeah, I don't know where Omen is at. Anyway, this is Vespera's room. It's very gothic-y. I like it. If you come through here, she has a shared bathroom with the other sage, Morgan. I like their bathroom. It's very stately. Yeah, I like it a lot. But this is Morgan's room. And like his classroom, it's so creepy. I don't know what it is about the combination of like red and black together in like really deep, rich tones in houses that creep me out. There's just something about it that I don't like. So I guess what I'm saying is this is a perfect aesthetic for Morgan, because I think his whole vibe is like just fiery, untamed energy. And so, I mean, he is the sage of untamed magic. So I suppose that fits him perfectly. But yeah, those are the only two rooms left up here on this last floor of the school. But let me show you guys Vespera really quick. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like I said, once you get to like the third floor territory of houses in The Sims 4, the cameras are just so wonky. But this is Vespera. Vespera is a new addition to the Sages. I imagine her background is a mixture of spellcaster and vampire. While she is not a vampire per se, she's a spellcaster that has very vampy characteristics, right? So I think she is a newer addition to the school and kind of a taboo choice as far as spellcasters go. They don't usually have like spellcasters that have different bloodlines mixed into their magical ancestry. And I think for them, having a vampire, or at least a sage that has a vampire lineage, it's kind of like a, do you know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, like her great great grandfather was a vampire, right? Yeah, I think that's what Vespera is all about. But you know what? I think she's a really like nice sage, and I think that I don't know why. I just feel like her and Arlo will have a good connection. Not in a romantic way, because I imagine that these sages are like hundreds of years old, right? Like there's a reason why they're a sage. But I just think of the three, she's the newest one and probably the youngest. And she just, I don't know. I love her. I just think she's so pretty, and she's just got this dark beauty energy about her, and I love it. But anyway, this is the Simeon Silver Sweater guy I was talking about. I gave him a facelift too, because he was not looking great. I didn't think he looked very good. And I actually put him in silver because his last name is Silver Sweater. And so I was like, why is he dressed in green? But anyway, I think I am going to have Eudora come up here and show herself friendly to the sages and be like, hey, I'm back. Do you guys remember me? Because, like I said, I do think that the Moonfall sisters attended the academy as well, perhaps. And I do think that they would be kind of close in age to this gentleman, because I made the point to say in my cast video that perhaps Malachi Barrow was after his job and Simeon got it instead, Simeon Silver Sweater. So I imagine they're all the same age. Perhaps they even attended this academy together before they became sages and before the sisters opened up their potion shop. So I'll have, here she comes, I'll have Eudora kind of, schmooze them a little bit and be like, okay, my nephew is going to be coming here pretty soon, and I would rather one of you two take him under your wing than that Morgan. Morgan is a sage of untamed magic, and I don't want my boy learning it. Y'all, what in the actual heck? This is Lord Callahan. Why is he dressed like this? What? I don't get it. I don't understand why the townies, especially the ones that I've made, are spawning in these atrocious clothes. This is something that he would never wear. All right. Anyway, Arlo is supposed to be coming up here, but I think he's making his rounds downstairs. I'm going to have her chat a little bit with Vespera. I kind of want her to, let's see. Oh, you know what? Here we go. This is something that I think Eudora would definitely say. I think, I don't think Eudora has like a very good filter with things. I think she's just very blunt and just say what is ever on her mind, whereas Celine is a little bit more, I think she has a little bit more of a turbulent personality where she does kind of overthink the things that she says. And I feel like Eudora would be like, praise vampire lifestyle. She's like, everybody else says that having you here is like the worst thing ever, but I like vampires, actually. I don't think they suck. Y'all, Arlo is getting in his first friendly duel with a sage. I feel like Vespera was like, or maybe Eudora was like, he's very special and we just know that he has like a lot of potential and he's just different. He's different, right? And I feel like Vespera was like, okay, bet. She said, let's see what you got, champ. And yeah, they're having them a little duel. Maybe we can ask her once we're finished, like, hey, hey, little mama, do you want to like hook us up with a spell? Oh, I gotta get a screen grab. One sec. Unfortunately, Baby did not win his first little duel with a sage. But you know what? She is a sage for a reason. So I consider it a great feat that he did not die. At least in this first episode. I'm just saying, I mean, I don't want him to die, period, but I'm just saying, like, a lot could have gone wrong that fortunately did not. So I'm going to have him see if he can ask her to teach mischief magic. I don't know if Celine's going to be happy about this. I would assume that, Eudora is just like anything but untamed. Anything but that. So yeah, he's gonna say like, hey, since you like, wiped me up here on the dual floor, do you think you could teach me like how to do a little something something? Wait, what? I can't share my knowledge with just anyone. Let's get to know each other first, then I'll decide. Eudora, nobody's talking to you, hun. What? Unless Eudora is a secret sage that we didn't know about, but I totally was not talking to her. I was talking to Vespera. I guess we need to get to know her just a little bit better. You know what? Arlo may pull a Eudora and say something about her vampire background. Be like, you know what? I'm learning about vampires too from my teacher. And I think they're great. I really do. She's like, yeah, I nobody has really brought that up in the last 50 years except for you two. I'm sorry. No one's laughing but me. I guess that time worked with her because she did actually bestow some mischief magic knowledge on him. It says Arlo has discovered a new spell, Deliriate. Let's open his spell book and check that out. Okay, so mischief magic, Deliriate. Reach into a Sim's head and scramble their thoughts. Okay, that's terrifying. But you know what? We knew what we were getting into. We certainly did. I think Eudora and he will head over to the magic market. Correction, you guys. This is actually called Caster's Alley, not the magic market, which, you know what? Caster's Alley sounds a lot better than the magic market. But yeah, so they are here. I think this would be a good time for Arlo to go ahead and, get a wand. I mean, why not? Already he has progressed some as far as his milestones go for part 1 of his aspiration, which now we have to reach spellcaster rank 2, which is the acolyte, know 3 different spells, and cast a spell on another sim. I actually already wanted to do that with the spell we just learned from Vespera, but there's no one here. There's no one present to even do that, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But I do want him to purchase like a wand or something here. I'm just checking these stalls because, oh, you can buy crystals here too. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you know what? Maybe when Saphira was like younger or something, maybe she would come to Caster's Alley and see like all the beautiful jewels that were on like up for sale, and maybe that interested her in like learning about gemology. Also, I already said this before, I've not really gotten into this pack in spite of having it for, but like this is so cool. Look at these houses. Like all of the stuff is just like floating in midair, and like the buildings are all distorted. Like they almost look like they got something bad happened, but they're just kind of like floating. It reminds me a little bit of like Alice in Wonderland. Y'all see that? Oh, I love it. Super magical. I suppose here you could buy what? Potion ingredients? Yeah. I'll probably have Eudora pick up some potion ingredients. It would make sense too, since they are here. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and also have him buy his first wand. I wish the experience was a little bit more magical, but that's all right. Let's see. We'll have her get, the death flower. It's quite pricey, but we'll have her get 3 since there are 3 of them. We'll have her pick up some obtainium. We'll have her get 5 of those. We already have apples at the cottage. I'll have her pick up some pyrite since it is cheap. And a zombie Carl. All right. I'll have her get a couple of strawberries, some roses. We don't have those. And you know what? We might as well get like 10 pyrite. Why not? Why not? Does she need potatoes for potions? All right, we'll go ahead and grab it. So looking through the inventory, at least we're just looking for wands. There's a marble wand, a wand of astral creation, and a wood wand. So how do you get the other wands? I just don't feel like any of these resonate necessarily with him. It says marble wand, far more sturdy than the wood wand and the bone wand. The marble wand is encrusted with an elemental gem that has the markings of elegance. I don't know. It says wood wand, a basic wood wand, the perfect start to any spellcaster's collection. I definitely want his wand to be special, but I don't know how you would get it. Do you know what I mean? So perhaps we'll start with a wood wand. Maybe this is like a training wand for him. It's not his official one, right? Because I know there are several other ones too that he could pick from. So, I mean, yeah. Alright guys, I think we're going to call it a video here. I think we were able to get a lot of things done in spite of it just being an introduction episode for this one. We were able to take a tour of Glimmerbrook and see it reimagined, as well as spend some time at the potion shop with Professor Barrow for a spellcraft lesson, and we also visited the magic realm, which is really great. Arlo was able to pick up a training wand for today, which, you know what, love to see it. So if you guys are curious to see how his story unfolds, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It definitely helps out the channel and I greatly appreciate it. But with that being said, I will see you guys in the next episode. Until then, you have a great day. Bye.